As mums, as parents, we're asking ourselves, whatever happened to that sweet little boy or that sweet little girl that I raised once they hit the lovely teenage years? The puberty years, the time where, you know, I guess there's unfiltered conversations that happen at home. And whatever happened to my sweet child? So how, as parents, can we manage that time when teenagers are testing our limits and our boundaries?
So I feel like teenagers often get a bad rap. I love teenagers. It's my favourite age group to work with. When I was a teacher, it was some of my favourite times was teaching high school. I love the way they think. I love the way they test the boundaries, except for when you're the parent and they're testing yours.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that because I feel like sometimes with teenagers is that they test the limits depending on who it is.
Yes.
Like, is it always mum that cops the full brunt of their teenage years, or do they do this at school? Because I would hate to think that my child is acting up at school. I did not bring them up that way. So, you know, what are some tips that we can get through this time as parents?
So it depends on your child, I would say, but many children, but also teenagers, will test the limits more at home than they do outside because they're comfortable at home and they're safe at home.
It's their comfort zone.
And so that's not a bad thing. It's not easy, but it's not a bad thing. We're not talking about rebellious teens today, so I'm talking about your general testing limits. It's a very normal stage of development. We should actually, in some ways, celebrate it. It's hard to celebrate when there's backchat happening, but it's celebrating because nobody wants a 30-year-old man still sitting on your couch playing Xbox and never having separated from you. Yeah. We want our children to develop independence. And disagreeing with you and testing limits is them figuring out which values they take on, which they push against, what are becoming their own, making their own choices. It's part of brain development, just like your child learning to walk. Right. So if we can keep that in perspective. Dr. Markham also says we also need to be careful not to take things personally. And that is hard sometimes, but it's remembering this is developmental. It's not always aimed at you. They're just testing it out on you. For me, the biggest...
Why? Who are you? Who is this person?
But it's wonderful. It's wonderful that they're growing. It can be difficult. And for me, the best thing is to work on connection. For me, that's the biggest tip I give parents. Work like crazy at connecting in positive ways with your teen. Find things that you can agree on. Find areas that are similar, that you can enjoy and bond in, and connect like crazy in those times. Right. Also then, disagreeing does not mean we allow disrespect. Okay. Also, are we respecting our children in the way we talk to them? Are we modelling respect as well? So not one thing for me and something else for you.
But at the end of the day, I'm the parent.
Yes, I agree, but parents can still respect their children. Right. We can still put boundaries in respectful, kind ways.
And even the words we say.
Absolutely. Choose, yeah. The words we say, are we listening? Some of our children just want to know that they have a listening ear. So listening to your teens, that helps them open up. Okay. So there's lots of ways to keep connecting.
Keep connecting. Thank you so much, Collett, for those awesome tips. Keep it locked right here and Mums at the Table for more tips from Collett and so much more.